everyone. Welcome back to AWS On Air, live at the New York Summit. My name is Aaron Hunter. I'm a technical trainer on the AWS Training Certification team, and with me we have my friend Forrest, and we're going to talk about AWS Power Hour.
What's up, everybody? My name is Forrest Penland, and I'm also a technical trainer here with AWS Training and Certification. Super excited to be here. This is awesome. We're at the summit, people everywhere. I love it.
Live at the summit, people everywhere walking behind us and all around us. So Forrest and I have been streaming the AWS Power Hour live on twitch.tv/AWS and also on our AWS LinkedIn channel. So we've been doing that for the past few weeks with our friend Greg Powell. Hashtag not Powell Hour, hashtag AWS Power Hour. But we're here to talk to you all about the AWS Power Hour Associate Certification. So Forrest, I think you have your screen shared, yeah?
Yeah, let's bring it up. So, well, first of all, we want to send everybody to awspowerhour.com. Check it out. It's got the whole schedule event, everything that we've been covering, talking about over the last 4 or 5 weeks now.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
4 weeks.
4
right?
weeks.
Because it's 5 episodes.
Yes, okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is the AWSPowerHour.com page. You can find all about our different series. We've got a Cloud Practitioner series coming up in a few weeks as well. But the series that we've been streaming for the last 4 weeks now is the Power Hour Associate Certification. So here's the schedule that we've been doing.
This is part of the Get Certified Challenge, too.
It is also, yes. The Get Certified Challenge is a great way for people to sign up and also cost optimize their certification preparation.
I feel like that's an episode theme that we'll talk about soon.
Yeah, it is. It is coming up. So that's another great resource for people. Go check out the AWS Get Certified Challenge. You can register for it. It's free to register for. And what does it get you, Aaron, if you register
50% off. You said cost optimization, so it gets you 50% off. It also gets you resources, study material, exam prep material, links to those directly in your inbox. So register today.
Do it. Every week you get an email from the Get Certified Challenge with hints, tips, things that you need to do to prepare for your certification. So great resource and can't beat the 50% off discount, right?
Yep, exactly.
Cool,
exactly. So we have the Get Certified Challenge. Let's go back and talk about the Architect Associate Series, or the Associate Certification Power Hour Series.
Yeah, like I said, if you haven't joined AWS Power Hour before, it is a 5-week series helping our learners prepare for their certification exam. And it breaks down the exam into all of the different domains that you're going to find on the Solutions Architect Associate exam.
That's the first episode. Second episode I see is designing secure architecture, because that's our top priority.
And then episode 3 is about resilient architectures.
Ooh, right? So we have secure architectures, resilient architectures, so they're secure and they can be fault tolerant.
Fault tolerant, highly available, scalable.
Oh, okay. Right, I'm thinking auto-scaling groups already.
Auto-scaling, yes, very cool.
High-performant architectures for episode 4. That was last Friday.
That was last Friday.
Yes.
Right? I can't believe we've already done 4 full episodes.
I know.
Only one more coming up.
You're going to make me cry, Forrest. Don't make me cry live on TV.
And then coming up this week, in fact, in 2 days.
Yes.
I don't know what day it is anymore.
It's
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Episode 5, we're going to design cost-optimized architectures.
Okay.
These episodes are a great resource for people that are preparing for their exam, right? We break down all the topics that you need to know or be prepared for. We do sample questions, some practice exam questions. We even do some little demos to help you get some experience with the different AWS services. Right?
Nice.
Good time.
So we went through the 4 and upcoming 5 episodes. Out of the 4 that we've done already, which one's your favorite? Which one stands out to you the most?
You know, I've had fun with all of them. And, you know, the jury's out still a little bit because we have one more episode coming up on Friday. So that one might be my favorite. But so far, I think episode 3 was the one I had the most fun with. We did a really cool demo where we set up some auto-scaling groups and watched it scale out. It was a good time. Right?
So that was 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago.
But
right?
I think you mentioned maybe a demo as well, doing demos. Can you maybe walk us through a demo that you did on that episode?
Yeah, let's take a little preview of it. Like, this is one of the things that we did during episode 3, where we were talking about designing resilient architectures. And let's jump into it. So I'm going to pull up the EC2 console here. I've got a really basic, it's called public web server running. Now,
sounds basic.
It's pretty basic, right? This thing, it's not doing anything super magical, but we've got
an instance ID?
I've got an instance ID. It's running in the US West 2A availability zone. So standalone web server. How can we improve this architecture and make it more resilient, though, Aaron?
Adding at least one more instance.
Adding at least one more instance.
At least.
But what if we also made it scale out, scale in automatically?
Can we do that through ClickOps? We add them through the console only?
Well, you could do that, but I think we should do it with an auto-scaling group.
That sounds more efficient.
Right? More efficient.
Yeah.
So what we could do, we've got this little public web server running, and we could say go and create a we go down here to image and templates, and we could create a template from this instance. And if you want to see us do that, join, go watch the replay. We already did it, though. I already have a launch template set up for us. This launch template is a little blueprint for everything that you need to launch an EC2 instance. So then we could go down here to auto-scaling groups.
Auto-scaling groups at the very bottom.
At the very bottom.
Okay.
And we're going to create an auto-scaling group, right?
Okay.
We're going to give it a name. So we're going to call this my web server.
Let's call it New York Summit.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like it. NY Summit. If I could type, ASG, auto-scaling group, right?
Okay.
We're going to pick the template that I already have. I've got the web server template, right? We'll add that. We'll tell it where we want to put this thing. We need a network for it, right?
The VPC, the virtual private cloud here.
So we're going to put it in our production VPC.
Yep.
We're going to say, hey, we want to split these things across multiple availability zones to make it highly available and resilient, right? So I'm going to put it in my subnet in AZ1 here.
Can we do that so in case one availability zone becomes unreachable for some reason, it's
absolutely
fault tolerant, resilient?
I'm going to put it in 2 different subnets across 2 different availability zones.
Because you were in US West 2A, so US West 2 is the region, 2A is the availability zone.
Exactly.
Got it, okay.
Okay, and now we're also going to put it behind a load balancer. I already have a load balancer set up, so we're going to choose one, an existing one.
Does the load balancer help with resiliency at all?
It does. It's part of building loosely coupled architectures, right?
Yes,
we can point our clients, our traffic, to the load balancer. The load balancer is now going to do the job of distributing requests to our auto-scaling web server,
Makes
right?
sense. So the traffic goes into a single point, and then that single point, the load balancer in this case, is distributing that traffic in some kind of pattern to help reach the back-end nodes, the 2 instances here in this case.
We're also going to turn on some health checking so the load balancer can validate that our instances, our resources are up and running. We're going to turn on some metrics so that we can monitor the status of it.
Okay.
Right? Let's add it. And now we're going to set some capacity, right? Like how many of these things do we want to run, right? We're going to say I have a desired capacity of 2. We'll also set the minimum capacity of 2 because we got 2 availability zones. We want to at least run 2 instances, right? And then just for demo purposes, we're going to say we want a maximum capacity of 4. We could make that a lot higher or smaller.
We could do 42.
We could do 42, right, if we wanted to, right? And then we need to add a scaling policy. What do we want to monitor to actually trigger this scale in and scale out, right?
Well, actually, going back real quick, sorry, I know this is not part of our discussion that we had before we got on stage, but for the group size, what's the difference between desired and maximum?
Yeah.
Like if you set max to 42 and desired to 2, which one would we try to please?
Yeah, so the desired capacity, that's like your little slider bar that says this is how many I want to run right now, right?
Yeah.
The maximum is your maximum, it'll never scale beyond that, right? And your scaling policy is going to dynamically set that desired capacity for you, right?
Makes total sense.
You could do it manually, you could do it on a schedule, or we could do it dynamically with a target tracking scaling policy. So we're going to say, hey, let's watch our average CPU utilization. We're going to say, hey, we want our average utilization to be about 50%. I know that these instances start up pretty quickly, so I'm going to tune that warm-up period, how long it takes for the instances to be ready, down a little bit. And let's go ahead and add this thing. Let's see what happens. I could add some notifications if I wanted to get emails, alerts for when it scales up and down. We would want to do that in like a production environment. But for demos, I don't need any more emails. I got plenty. We'll add some tags, so I'll give it a name.
The NM, that's the name?
Yeah,
okay, got it.
No, I need to actually type properly. Name. And we're going to go NYC Summit.
Yeah.
We're going to call these things.
Hashtag AWS Summit.
Yeah,
NY.
like
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a name tag. There we go. We'll review this thing, and let's create our auto-scaling group.
And while that's happening, what's happening, I don't want to say behind the scenes, but like what is it doing right now? It's creating the auto-scaling group and the load balancer, or attaching it?
So yeah, I already had the load balancer set up. This is something you would want to do, ahead of time, right? And it's launching some new EC2 instances, and it's putting it in a target group behind the load balancer that I already had up and running.
So you already did that, and people can go watch the episode.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you want to get a full walkthrough, this is like a turbo demo, right?
Yes.
We're here at the summit, right? Okay. So our auto scaling group, it's created. It's updating the capacity to 2. We give it a few seconds here, and now we're at desired capacity of 2. If we pop back over to the EC2 console here. Let's take a look at it and look at our running instances. And we already have 2 new instances here.
NYC Summit.
NYC Summit. So with the tag that I created.
That's the tag.
That's the tag.
Okay, so when you add that tag in your auto-scaling group, then it's going to add the tag as a name. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could add other tags too. We could say like, hey, I want to tag this thing with my environment name, my billing code, whatever information you want to so you can track, sort, search, do billing allocation, automate your resources. You can add tags for all of those things.
That's
right?
awesome. Seems pretty easy. And I think you can do up to 50 tags on the resource.
Yeah. Okay, so we got some new instances up and running, and we'll give these things a few seconds here to be ready. We could go down here to the target group that we set up and see whether or not these things are healthy. They're not healthy yet. We'll give them a few more minutes to start up and let those health checks start passing, and then they'll be available to serve up requests, right?
Perfect. And do you remember Borghetti from our series, one of our viewers?
I do, yeah.
Borghetti is in the chat right now. Hey, Borghetti, how's it going? Good to see you.
Whoa, nice. Love it. People joining us live?
Yeah, and I see Mohammed Yassin Afsar saying hello and welcome in the chat. So we are watching the chat, everyone. Let us know if you have any questions. We have about 4 or 5 minutes left.
Cool. In another minute or so, we should see now that our web server, hey, there we go. Now we've got this link, this address here is the DNS entry that I set up for the load balancer, right?
Okay.
So now we have
prod-webserver.forestpenland.com.
Exactly.
You got your own domain?
I got my own domain name, right? There's not much running on it, just this little demo at the moment, so it's not that exciting.
Okay.
But if we actually refresh this thing, we can see the load balancer distributing the requests across the 2 different availability zones, the 2 different instances. Here we've got our one running in US West 2A, and if we refresh again, now we're distributing requests to the instance in US West 2B, right?
So how does stress handling work? Because I imagine like prod-webserver.forestpenland.com is probably getting some load right now.
Yeah,
all of our beautiful friends on the
everybody's
internet.
testing it out, right? Well, we could go back to our EC2 instances, and we could take a look at the CPU load on these things. It's probably pretty low right now. If we go to the monitoring tab, we can see we're starting to get some data, 25% CPU utilization, but that's going to start trickling up as our wonderful viewers are load testing my website.
They're
here,
hitting
right?
it. They're hitting it. Yeah.
But we could also like inject some artificial load on these things to test it out. Should we do that?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
I'm going to connect to one of these things. I'm going to use Session Manager. One of an amazing service that allows us to get secure access to our instances without making them available on the public internet, right?
Yep.
So, this is just I'm going to inject some artificial load on this thing. if I could type again, stress, we're going to run the stress command.
And while you're doing that, there's a question in the chat from Jeeper Bryant. Great question. Oh, wait, hold on. From Victor Ezagbor, sending shout out to Aaron and Forrest. There you go. Please, when is the keynote for the New York City Summit starting? At 11 a.m. Eastern. So tune in live.
All right, we're stressing out this one instance. Should we stress out the other one? Let's stress
out the instances. Just don't stress me out, Forrest.
Okay, I'll try not to. I'll try not to. Let's log into this other one, and we're going to stress this one too.
Mahad Said says, missed the summit, but the next one should be there. Auto-scaling group, how do we ensure it's set behind the load balancer? So to answer that question while Forrest is typing, you essentially, with your auto-scaling group configuration, you can set the auto-scaling group or attach it to the load balancer so that way the load balancer knows which auto-scaling group is going to send the traffic to. You need to either create the load balancer beforehand or you can do it when you create the auto-scaling group. Ideally, you have your configuration mapped out as you're going through it before you actually just kind of click on it. So, Mahad, hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, and in fact, that's like a great question. I have a link pulled up here. It's the EC2 auto-scaling page or documentation. What is EC2 auto-scaling? And this actually walks you through like the three main components that are required for auto-scaling, right? You need a group, you need a template for your instance, and then you have some scaling options, right? Like that's the policy, what we want to watch for monitor for scaling up and down, right?
Yeah, but I just dropped that link in the chat for everyone so you can get access to that.
Yeah,
we got about 90 seconds left. Let's show that stress real quick if we have time.
Let's go take a look at it. Let's see. It's going to take about 3 minutes to fully kick in, but we'll go look at the metrics that we have for our EC2 instances, and we should start seeing them under some load, right?
And we did this on the episode, so they can go watch the third episode, go to awspowerhour.com, click on the associate certification AWS Power Hour, and then go down to episode 3 for the architecting associate, and you'll be able to see 90 minutes of Forrest trying to stress things out, including me and Greg.
Yeah. I promise you the load is running. We can take a look at these instances. Here we've got this one. It's running at 82% CPU right now. This one, let's check it out. This one is running at 90% CPU. So if people are watching along and they want to like keep refreshing this prod-webserver.forrestpinland.com,
you should see
this scale out in a couple of minutes. We'll have
different
4
instances.
instances. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So go do that, everyone. Go check out awspowerhour.com. Watch episode 3. Watch all the episodes. Join us live this Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific and on twitch.tv/AWS. But don't go anywhere. Stay here on twitch.tv/AWS on air, or if you're watching on LinkedIn, for more from the AWS Summit in New York City. Stay tuned, everyone. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.